This is the wall of one of the plots that have been developed, and is being developed, I should say, here in Busura. So we're just going to go around the fence to the front to go and see exactly what they're doing inside.
Hello and welcome to another day in paradise, and welcome to another edition of the Unapologetic Negropian. In today's video, guys, I love you. Yes, you, my subscribers, my viewers, I love you so much. Why? Because every single time I make one of these videos, I end up getting feedback from you guys. Really good feedback. Feedback that actually points the way to the answers to the questions that I normally ask within that particular video. So the last video that I had made about the Blaxit organization and them selling really cheap land out at Busura had me thinking, why? Why on earth is she selling this land so cheaply? And then I realized that there must be one of three reasons. A, there is something wrong with the location. B, there is something wrong with the actual land. Or C, there is something wrong with the legalities, the particularities relating to that particular location. You know, I don't like Google, but clearly I should be using it a lot more, because it's clear that somebody had done a little bit of research. They found an article in a Gambian newspaper, they copied it and they simply pasted it and posted it onto my comment line. Guys, this article was extremely telling. I'm going to read some of it to you right now because, well, it pretty much answers all the questions, but it opens up a whole host of other questions as well that we are going to try and answer today. First, I'm going to ask you to please like, subscribe, share, click the bell notification, and please consider supporting the channel on our Patreon, link in the description. I'd also like to invite you to please follow the OVVERSIGHT channel, the channel that is there to help you to invest on the African continent, both safely and securely. Link also in the description. Okay, so guys, let's read this article. 2022 March. Warning. Police are not mediators of land dispute between Busura, Tolokoto. The two neighbouring communities were recently involved in a land dispute, with each claiming ownership of a portion of land between the two villages. Commissioner Jallo then advised the Akalo of Tolokoto, Oliamatu Koli, to inform all those landowners who are busy constructing houses on the said disputed land to halt and wait for the court's decision. Whatever the court says, that what the authorities will do, Commissioner Jallo affirmed. Aliu Afe, head of Busura village, said the land dispute has been going on since 2015 and remains unresolved. What does this tell you? It tells you that there is a few pieces of land that do have a land dispute between a number of communities. That tells us one thing. Number two, the police are involved. Number three, the courts are already involved. Number four, there are people already building properties on that said piece of land, which means that land at some point has been sold already. By whom? I cannot confirm right now. If you're one of those landowners who are right now developing a piece of land in Busura and you already know that there might be a land dispute between these two neighbouring fractions, then let me know in the comment section below. But it is highly likely that the people who have already bought this land, they don't actually realise that there is a land dispute. Now, this is really funny because if there was some sort of dispute, you would have thought that the courts would have put these two communities in a situation where they couldn't sell the property. Clearly, because you don't know whose property it belongs to, right? And so you wouldn't think that they would be able to legally partake in selling and distributing land. But clearly, that is what is happening up at Busura. If you take a look at some of Blaxit's videos, some of the ones that she has made lately, she's been very wishy-washy about the location of this land. She definitely hasn't been showing people, right? I mean, you haven't seen any maps, any drawings. You haven't seen anything. You haven't seen anything official. All you've had is what she's been saying. So this is extremely dangerous. Now, clearly there is a reason why she's selling this land extremely cheaply. And I think part of the reason is this. I think Blaxit is selling disputed land. I think this land is disputed. She's selling it cheaply. Why? Because she knows she's not going to get that much of a backlash of people who have only paid £750 for their allotted piece of land. If they was to have paid £3,000 or £4,000, then of course there would be some problems. There would definitely be some backlash. But she knows she can sell these pieces of land, and if the worst happens, if the courts come back in favour of the other community that had been vying for that land, the community that didn't sell that piece of land, then of course that the people there are going to lose that piece of land. But who's going to cry over $1,000? It's going to be more costly to send somebody to court than to just lose the $1,000 and cut it as a loss. And that is a massive problem. And that is what I am saying. So this tells us now that there is land there. There is land, it is disputed, and people are able to sell it. People are able to sell that piece of land. Whether it's legal or illegal, I don't know. Or whether the authorities have put a stop to it and said, no, you're not allowed to sell this piece of land anymore. You know, they've actually gone down to the Land Commission and said, this piece of land here, it is under dispute. Don't let anybody else sell this piece of land. That hasn't happened, clearly. So we are in a position where you're going to have to be extremely careful about where you are buying your piece of land. Guys, if you have £750, I mean, I don't have £750 to waste. If I was going to buy a piece of land, I wouldn't buy it for £750 anyway. I'd just go and buy the piece of land that I wanted to. I would, you know, bite the bullet and buy a decent piece of land, you know, like some of you guys have already done. There's no point in going out and buying cheap pieces of land. Okay, and there's certainly no point in giving it to somebody like Blaxit and then hoping that she is going to come through. She might come through in the short term, but we do not know how long it's going to take these courts to come up with a final decision. So this is the situation we're in. We don't know what the courts are actually going to do. We don't even know whether this piece of land that's being sold is disputed or not. So what can I suggest to you guys? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and find out the exact location of this land, the disputed land. This is not something that I'm guessing the two parties that are involved, the two communities who are vying for this few pieces of land. This is not a situation which these two communities are going to want to tell you where these pieces of land is, right? They're trying to sell you the land. That's what they might be trying to do. They might be just trying to flog off the land real quickly and just say, listen, let's just sell this piece of land right now, okay? Because clearly we don't know what's going on, okay? Let's make our money off the land and then, you know, que sera. It's nothing to do with us. I'm going to try and find the piece of land. What I will do is I can find the piece of land. I will get the latitude and longitudinal coordinates, yeah, the lat longs. You guys should know what that is if you're buying pieces of land. And if you are going to buy a piece of land from Blaxit, you can simply ask her for those specific details. If she is being less than truthful about the information, if she is trying to be opaque about it, if she's just telling you whereabouts this piece of land is, then just forget it. Don't even bother trying and buy it. You're just wasting your money, guys, because it's likely that that piece of land is under dispute. And there's no point in buying pieces of land that can easily be taken off you 5, 6, 7 years down the line. So guys, that's where we are at today. I'm going to get back to you with a bit more information as soon as it becomes available. But for now, guys, just keep your money in your pocket. There's plenty of land. This is Africa. There are vast swathes of land, right, in Africa. Do not fall for this cheap old, oh, the land is going, everyone's buying it. That's just a cheap sales ploy in order to try and get people to feel like that they are missing out. There is tons of land over there. Don't worry about it. Keep your money in your pocket, and when I find out more, so will you. Until the next time, please think twice. Ta-ra a bit.